Yo, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the boom. Oh man, is that a list? Yeah, darn Skippy it is. And man, let me tell you, I put a lot of thought and effort in this list. Because here's the thing, man. I swear, I was gonna throw the deck stuff up in this video. You know, pictures, stories, you know, the whole shebang. But I already know it's gonna take us a bit of time to get through this list because I got a lot of stuff in it. We're gonna have to do the hippity dippity and zip on through it. So let's rock and roll. It goes on and on for days to sights you never seen before. But here's the thing, like everything in Marvel Future Fight, everything needs a little bit of explanation, right? So, you know, I could just show you the list and say, here you go, bye-bye. But, you know, I think certain things need a little bit of explanation. So, here we go. All right, so yeah, I have a lot of, it's not just the top 10 here. Some of them are top 20. I got 20. So take your pick, right? Because here's the thing, you know, certain characters are going to, certain meta characters are going to be better with a certain CTP than, like, I don't know, you would consider maybe like a secondary CTP. And then we have a lot going on with Pierce and Rage and, you know, and Chain Hit and, you know, all that business. So there's going to be certain things that I'm not going to be able to give an explanation to. But I'm going to try to do my best here because I certainly don't want this video running 30 minutes. Honestly, I could sit here and talk for probably 3 hours about each and every one of these, but I'm certainly not going to do that. We're going to try to make this under 20 minutes, so let's go. All right, at the bottom here, we got Storm and Warriors of the Sky. Now, for elemental damage dealing characters, there really aren't all that many, and I basically have any character that's going to be useful on this list here. I'm only including, I think, Insight, Destruction, and Authority with characters that are non-awakened or non-tier 3. So, although I have some honorable mentions and with Regen that other non-awakened or tier 3 characters can use. So, we got Storm at the bottom here, Warriors of the Sky. I have Luna Snow here with Judgment, right? We're talking about CTP of Judgment, and that's because Rage is going to be better for her, right? Her primary use is ABX. Not many people use her anywhere else, and if you are, then you need some better characters for World Boss Legend, Danger Room Extreme. You know, she's still good for like GBR, but who really has an issue with GBR? Next up, we have Beta Ray Bill. Energy is better for Beta Ray Bill. It's better for Beta Ray Bill. But when I did testing with a Mighty Judgment and a Mighty Energy, Mighty Judgment was actually better for Beta Ray Bill. So you can take that into consideration. Professor X is actually pretty good with his uniform. With his new uniform, he's actually not too bad. Where is it? Where is this man in the wheelchair? I can't find him, man. He's mind controlling me, and I just can't see. There he is, right there. He's actually not bad. He's not too shabby. I have a Mighty Judgment on him, and he could do some work, but there's a lot of other characters that are actually just better. Thor's actually pretty good. Thor's pretty good. He's just not as good as some of the others, right? And then we have Ghost Rider, Apocalypse. Now, Apocalypse, I have a Brilliant on Apocalypse, and that's only because of ABX. Honestly, I really want to rip the thing off him. That's the one that I rolled 40 times and got nothing. He has my worst rolled Brilliant. And yeah, that's only because of ABX. I don't care all that much about ABX anymore. Honestly, I only do like a few runs and, you know, let that be that. If you're scoring over, you know, the 7 million, getting all the rewards, that's really all you need to do, unless you're placing super high, right? Actually, I think I am placing very high right now. I know this is a little off topic. I'm actually curious to see where I am. I'm ranked number 7. Not too shabby, but I could probably get a bit higher. I just haven't spent a whole lot of time actually running because I don't have a whole lot of time to run ABX. All right, now Wanda, so for ABX, she's going to be better with a Rage. She's quite a bit better with a Rage. Actually, Mighty Judgment and Rage, I think Rage is they're like, you need a really nicely rolled Mighty Judgment, like with a pristine roll for it to actually beat out Rage. But she's really good for World Boss Legend, as a matter of fact. So if you want to use her, you want to double down on her, give her, and you have Pierce, right? You have Pierce, you want to give her that Judgment. Ebony Maw, right? If you haven't seen my Ebony Maw videos, I just put a couple out. Go watch that, and then you'll understand why he's actually at number 7 here. Torch. The best CTP for Torch is going to be a Judgment, and he's very, very good with the Judgment. I have a Mighty Judgment on him, and I have a Mighty Judgment on a lot of characters, actually. I'm thinking about giving him one of my better roll judgments now that we have 50% off unequipped CTPs. Right, bada bing. I'll probably do a little bit of testing between all attack and then type on Torch. Rogue is she's just a beast. She's so good. And you could probably flip flop Torch and Rogue depending on what you're using them for. Thing is with Torch, his damage falls off so much when you're not using his Awaken rotation because he has the accumulation on his Awaken skill. If they gave that to him on like his 5th skill, man, he'd be such a powerhouse. He's still good, but I just I shy away from using him for. If I would use him for World Boss Legend, I pair him up with another character and do like a swap in and out with like Moonstone and Torch, right? And then you could just use their Awakening skills over and over again. You could do a thing like that. And then we have Mephisto and Supergiant. Honestly, these two, they could be flip-flopped too. The thing is, Supergiant, the best CTP for her, hands down, in all game modes, is going to be a Judgment. It's going to be better than the Rage for ABX. For Mephisto, I honestly can't say for sure if regular Judgment is better than Rage for ABX. I can't say. I want to say Rage might be a little bit better than a regular Judgment for Mephisto for ABX, but he's a beast in every other game mode. And if you have Pierce on cards, I wouldn't give him a Rage. I'd give him a Judgment, so you can use them in other game modes, right? All right, let's move on to our next CTP. Alrighty, guys, moving on. We're moving on to Rage. Okay, here's the thing. So I've been told by somebody who has a lot of experience making YouTube videos that I need to shorten my videos. So we're gonna try to fly through this thing. Okay, Rage. Now we all know what's happening. Rage and Pierce. Now if you have Pierce on cards, Rage isn't gonna, like, for me personally, I try not to use characters that can only use a Rage. So on this list, I have Molecule Man down here, yes, because I've seen people score over 6 million points in squad battle with him. I'll be making some squad battle content coming up, but that's why he's down there. X23, she's basically terrible for all game modes except ABX. You could swap her in at the very beginning and then like at the very end of the run. And that's basically as far as her use goes, as far as I'm concerned. You could probably get some PvP use out of her, some AC action, but that's about it. Okay, Iron Man. If you have low Pierce, he's very good with the Rage. But if you have Pierce, I'd give him an energy. I use an energy on him, and he's very good. Valkyrie, ABX. We have Loki, ABX, and Dispatch. Venom, ABX. We have Ghost Rider here. Let's see. We have Wanda, ABX. Now, if you don't necessarily need her for World Boss Legend, you can give her that Rage, and she's going to do really, really well in ABX for you. Corvus, another ABX. Proxima, she works really good with the Rage. Like if you had low Pierce, give her a Rage. But if you do have like 10% Pierce or higher, I strongly suggest giving her an energy. She is so good, man. She can solo stage 44 for me, no problem. Cable. Now, Cable, if you use him with a Rage, use the X of Swords uniform for ABX primarily. Luna Snow, ABX, and then Odin. I have Odin at the top because he can only operate with a Rage, and he's still actually pretty good, even with what's going on with Pierce. So, man, I wish I could see what, like I don't know, a Reforged Rage on Odin. He would be an absolute monster. All right, moving on. Oh, man, my insight list was poking out here. I was popping out. All right, so I'm going to go from the top down. So Cyclops. Cyclops at number 1 because he is so versatile. You use him for so many ABX days. You use him for your lead and support for World Boss Legend. That's my top pick. That's my top pick, hands down. And then White Fox because you're using her for free for all day for ABX, right? If you're using Cable, you could do Mephisto if you have like a super sack build on them for certain seasons. But White Fox is coming in next, and then I have Raven. Now Raven because she's not used for ABX. She's not used as a damage dealer for ABX anymore. You use her for 2 days. Plus, you can use her as a support, right, for World Boss Legend. So that's why I was leaning her up towards the top of the list. And some of these can be swapped around depending on what your needs are, and certain things that you value more than others. And we have Ghost Panther. He's got ABX Squad Battle. Zemo, he's got ABX Squad Battle. Phyla-Vell, just ABX. Ronan, ABX. Taskmaster, ABX. I put him above some of the others because I mean, you could probably even put him maybe even above Phyla-Vell, because technically you get 2 scores with Taskmaster, right? Because it's on reset day. It's on combat villain reset day. And then we have She-Hulk, ABX, and then we have Colossus is basically PvP. And then down here I have, okay, Storm, Thing, and Jewel. I put these 3 on here because, well, they offer support, right? Defenders with Jewel, Thing with Fantastic Four, and then Storm, she has all elemental damage as a support, and you could use them in World Boss Legend. So that's why I put them higher than some of the others here. And then we have Ancient One, right? Ancient One for Vibranium Squad Battle. As a matter of fact, let me get over here because, not Shadowland, Squad Battle, because we have, let's see, on this top bracket here, you can use Ancient One. Down here, right, because I have Kitty Pryde on here, use Kitty Pryde lead. And, right, obviously Zemo. And then you could probably, right, I have Victorious on here. You got Victorious down there. Green Goblin, ABX, if you're still using Moonstone. And, okay, so I have Coulson all the way down here now because you don't use him for ABX anymore. He's not needed for ABX. I mean, we're using his support. Maybe World Boss Ultimate. That's it, right? So if you have an insight on him and you need it for somebody else, you could take that thing off. That's my opinion there. And then we have, I got Dazzler down here at the bottom just because she offers such a nice support. Throw an insight on her and it's even more support. And that goes for any character that offers support. Moving on. Alrighty, things is heating up now because we got Regen on the list. Okay, first and foremost, we got Sentry and Malcolm Man at the very top. Sentry, I mean, he's the PvP king. Malcolm Man, he's so good for timeline. He solos pretty much all the matches, right? And if he doesn't, he's taken out few of the lives, and then whoever's next can clean up after you. Luke Cage, he's so good. I mean, that's actually my team right now, and that's because Malcolm Man is banned. It's because Malcolm Man is banned. If he wasn't Malcolm Man, and it would be like Malcolm Man, Sentry, and maybe Silver Surfer would be my team up there, but I have Luke Cage there because he's so good. And Silver Surfer up next, and then Daredevil. Honestly, I might even want to flop them two for the Regen. I don't know, probably not. Probably Silver Surfer is still better than Daredevil. But Daredevil is very good. And I have Mephisto on here. So okay, from what I've been told, I haven't tested it out because I have Mephisto with a Judgement, but his passive, it was bugged before. It's not bugged. People using him for Alliance Tournament, and those teams are winning. They are winning. And I haven't really tested them in Timeline. Maybe I'll do that. It's 50% off CTP unequipped, so maybe I'll do something like that. And then we got Hulk, Jean. Now Jean, unless you have a Forge Regen, I think she's just better with Greed. But I have her on the list. And I have Thanos, Null, and okay. Then at the bottom here, you know, these are characters that, okay, like if you're really heavily into PvP, you know, you don't need any more like World Boss Legend clears. You could, you know, throw a Regen on them. So Thanos, Null, Dormammu, Odin, and then Jewel. Okay, and then some honorable mentions down here. I have Icarus, Thane, Sue Storm, Thing, Gladiator, Ares, Dakin, and then Mr. Nimrod. Moving on. Now things is really spicing up because we got energy on the list. Okay, so some of these could be swapped around. Now I'm looking at it. So I think when I did my testing with like Call, Moonstone, you know, Supergiant, the whole Black Order, and then Moonstone, Call was very close to Moonstone for doing the quick and dirty there. And I've gotten a bit better playing with him from 30 bars down. So he's not as much of a headache, but he's very good with energy. He's very, very good. That's why he's closer at the top of the list there. And then Moonstone, I mean, you could probably swap those two around. And then I have Proxima right under them because, man, she is so good with energy. Plus, in Dispatch, she does her rotation. She does 5, 3, and then 4. And she is, like, my Dispatch team is this right here. That's my Dispatch team, and it's the fastest by far. Now, some people want to say that, like, you don't actually want to clear it that fast because you want the boost points to be able to catch up. So, if you're having it run overnight, for me personally, I don't necessarily. Sometimes I do that, but there's times where I want to get some dispatch clears in, so I want it done as quickly as possible. All right, and then we got Null and Sharon Rogers and Cable up next. Like I said, you could flip flop some of these depending on what characters you have built for what purposes. But all three of them are just, you know, they're monsters with an energy. And then we have Iron Man, Maker, and Corvus. So I think these three are probably very close for World Boss Legend value, but Corvus, he has ABX value now, so you're probably going to want to give him that Rage. But Maker and Iron Man, they're both very, very good for null. And then we got Gambit, Beta Ray Bill, and Vision. Okay, so Vision, he would be higher on this list, except that it's very difficult to keep that proc consistent with Mr. Vision there. I really don't use him for any World Boss Legend just because it's really annoying to keep that proc where you want it. Constantly missing procs. Otherwise, he would definitely be higher if that wasn't an issue with energy. He could probably perform really well with a Rage, as a matter of fact. So you could probably throw him on that Rage list over there. And over here we got Moon Knight, Sue Storm, and then Gwenom. Moon Knight has just, he's fallen off. He's fallen off the meta just because of the power creep. But I remember he was like at the top of the list, or towards the top of the list for a long time. Not anymore. He had so many people surpass him. And actually, there's a different CTP, one that you'll never expect that I might suggest for Moon Knight, and you'll find out in short order here. And then Sue Storm, according to my test, actually she was on pace with Gambit here. So you could probably throw Sue Storm, up a few ranks there. But a lot of these characters, it's all relative. It's all relative. They're not too far apart from each other. Depending on what kind of supports or lead you're giving him. Like if you're giving Beta Ray Bill his own lead, he might go up a little bit higher. But I think Sue Storm's better value is going to be something like AC for you. Just because there's so many other stronger characters that you're going to use for World Boss Legend. You don't need that many, right? You only need 5 clears. So you could use even 5 teams of two damage dealers, and that's 10 characters. That's my thought on it. And then Gwenom, she's actually not bad. I use her for squad battle, teaming up with Bullseye, and I score over 7 million. Like, check this out with them two. Can you see that score? Oh, no, not anymore. Right there, boom, 7.2 million with Bullseye and Gwenom there. Alrighty, here we go. Now we have CTP of Destruction. I'm gonna try not to talk too much through this, but because Destruction, it's basically a secondary CTP. It's only AC as far as I'm concerned. Unless you're a newer player, you just don't have a whole lot of CTPs, then sure, you can give it to a character. But for PvE action, it's not going to do much for you. But there's some characters that perform really well with it, like Captain Marvel. She doesn't have native penetration. Cersei as well. She's very good for PvP, but she doesn't have any native penetration. So giving her Destruction would actually work really well for her. And then we have Spider-Man 2099. I've had a CTP of Destruction on Spider-Man 2099 for the longest time. He is one of the characters that survived my CTP purge. When I went ahead and I purged CTPs off of... Actually, you can't even see that here. Hold on, let me move this. Boom, Destruction. When I was going hard after getting Brilliance, I was pulling CTPs off all the characters that basically all the non-Awaken or Tier 3 characters. I was pulling every CTP off. He survived the purge. Spider-Man 29 survived it. Yelena, I'll probably actually throw a Destruction on her. I have Rage on her right now, but I've been told. So actually, because I don't play AC a whole lot, so I had to consult some heavy AC monsters. And shout out to you guys online who helped me out with some of these CTP picks here. Some players that know really what they're doing and gave me some of their top picks there. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, we have Yelena, Warriors of the Sky, Iron Fist, Negasonic, Weapon Hex, Black Widow, Bishop, and Silver Surfer. Now the thing is with Black Widow, she does have penetration, but and here's the thing, like if you're using a character for Alliance Conquest and they don't use the skill that has penetration on it unless it's on their passive, but if it's on their skills, like Silver Surfer, unless he hits his 3rd skill, he doesn't have penetration, right? Now Black Widow, unless she hits her 5th skill, and it doesn't penetrate invincibility. So there's a lot of characters that have a lot of penetration, but they just don't have invincibility penetration on their skills. So in that case, sure, because what Destruction's going to do is it's going to try. So she has 100% penetration. She's not a good example. Somebody that has Iron Fist, he's got let's see, 50% penetration, and it's super armor, barrier, shield, all damage immune. No invincibility, and it's for 50%. So if it tries to penetrate with his skill, it's going to try to penetrate with his skill first because it has a higher percentage, 50%, as opposed to destruction, which is only 30%. And if it doesn't hit on his skill, then it's going to try the destruction penetration. So you got basically 2 chances then, and then you also have the additional invincibility on the penetration. Okay, and then we have Bishop and Silver Surfer. Bishop, again, he's going to be some AC action, and he does not have native penetration. There's my guy there. Yeah, and all his skills, he doesn't have any penetration, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Yeah, no penetration there. So, and then I have Silver Surfer down at the bottom here, again, because I explained, unless he hits his 3rd skill, a lot of times he's going in, he's hitting his 5th. So he doesn't have that penetration up, but I wouldn't give Silver Surfer destruction. I'd give him a regen. All right, moving on. Next up on the list, we got CTP of Authority. All right, and then first up on our list for CTP of Authority is Doom. Although I actually have a very interesting video that I'll be making soon. It's a squad battle video where using Doom, you can carry full light in the 3rd round. Full light. If you want to see that, hit me up in the comments. I plan on doing it, but you know how it goes. Okay, so we got Doom. We got Doom at the top of the list. Then we have Strife. Cersei. I got Cersei up there because I actually have authority on her now. And if you caught any of my videos where I actually was using her with authority, she's pretty good. She is pretty good, and she'll do some work for you in AC as well. And then we got Sue Storm. Again, I consulted with some heavy AC monsters, and that's basically what this CTP is. It's an Alliance Conquest CTP. You're really not going to use it for timeline or really anywhere else. It is going to be some AC action for you. So here we go. Doom, Strife, Cersei, Sue Storm. We have Icarus, Thane, Gladiator, Angel, Big and Little Nova. I just combined them into one. We have Molecule Man. He can actually be pretty good in timeline with an authority. So he might be an exception. Then we have Warriors of the Sky. Just put them all there. Probably excluding War Tiger. And then we have Dakin, Nimrod, Mysterio, Slapstick, Red Guardian, Morbius, Negasonic, Bishop, Juggernaut, and then Arachnite. And this is all for some AC action. Actually, you could probably throw Arachnite with a Destruction as well. I have to imagine that he's going to be good for AC with a Destruction over there on top of it. All right, moving on. CTP of Greed. Now, not too much has changed. Actually, there's a couple, well, maybe a couple new members to this list here. So Jean Grey still takes the cake at the top of the list here. And then I have Daredevil. So I've been hearing Daredevil is actually very good with the Greed. I plan on doing that test, as a matter of fact. I'm going to see if Greed is actually better than Regen for him. But I do know he can operate pretty well with the Greed, just the way he operates, right? It basically pops in there, hits his 3rd, and they're a done deal. And with that Greed proc, it's going to make it even more potent. Okay, and then we have Quicksilver. I actually took a Mighty Energy off of Quicksilver, and now he's got a Greed. He's got a Greed, and he does pretty well with it, right? He can still do your World Boss Invasion. He can still do story mode with it if he's used for that, and very good for Alliance Conquest. Quicksilver is an AC monster, I have to say. I hate fighting Quicksilver in AC. I try to avoid him at all costs. Okay, and then we got Black Widow, Dormammu. Now, all the next ones on this list here, I don't suggest giving them a Greed, but if you don't care about, like, let's see, ABX with Apocalypse, or getting the most out of your Silver Surfer, Earth Sentry, or Mephisto, then sure, you can give them a Greed, but I just don't recommend it. And then we have all of them on the list. Okay, moving on. Oh boy, this next CTP does not have many options. There aren't many characters that I would give the CTP to. As a matter of fact, this CTP, I wouldn't give it to any character. It would just be fodder. It would be lunch. It would be yesterday's lunch. But there are a couple characters that could take advantage of this, like, so Ant-Man, he has native guard break immunity. And now he doesn't necessarily need a CTP or an obelisk with guard break immunity. So an egg would actually work pretty good on him, right? Because it's offering max HP recovery rate, and it has a heal on it. So for him, it's very good. We have Destroyer on here. There's a lot of AC and even timeline. You give the guy an egg, and he's going to do some work for you, just the way with his reflect works. And then Blue Marvel, a lot of AC players put an egg on Blue Marvel. And then I have Moon Knight on here. And Moon Knight, because of the same reason for Ant-Man, he has native guard break immunity. I think it's on his uniform. I'm going to double check here. Where's my man? Where's the tall glass of milk over here? Is he over? Where is this guy? I know I passed him. There he is. Boom. Is it on his uniform? Probably is. It's not on his uniform. It's got to be on his passive then. Not that passive. Boom. Guard break immunity. See it right there. So he has guard break immunity. So you could give him an egg. He's not meta for anything anymore. So you could try to use him for, some PvP stuff. All right, now it gets rather spicy. We have Forge CTP. So I initially just made one list for like top picks for any Forge CTP, and then I started making separate lists for it. So Forge CTPs here. All the characters on the list here. We have Mephisto, Supergiant, Moonstone, Sentry, Cable, and it's pretty much solely for ABX. If you have a Brilliant Energy, he's going to be able to push your ABX score higher than any other character. And then we have Proxima with an Energy. I have a Brilliant on Proxima, and I will probably never take it off. I don't know. Maybe once the power creep starts coming, a few months down the road, maybe at that point. But as of right now, she is just, use it for dispatch, and then I clear Null. I always play Null once a day, stage 44. No matter what, even if I have Mephisto as my world boss clear, just because it's such an easy clear, and it's given me quite a bit for the Conqueror level. And then we have Call, with just a mighty energy. He's so good. He's so good for world boss legend. Sharon Rogers. We have Wanda with the Judgment. Now, like I said, for ABX, if it's not a really, really nicely rolled Mighty Judgment, you're going to score higher with the Rage. But if you want to double down and you want to use her for World Boss Legend as well, give her a Mighty Judgment, and you will not be, you won't regret it. And then we have Null, Torch, Gambit, Gorilla Baby 24. He clears. Gambit's his go-to. He has a brilliant energy on Gambit, and he clears Null stage 40 to 44 with Gambit there. Me personally, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Gambit, but and even with the Mighty, I think he needs that Brilliant in order to really impress you. Because with Mighty, he really doesn't impress me that much. So I'm gathering this information from some other players there. We have Rogue with a Judgment, Molecule Man, Jean, and Silver Surfer, all with Regen. And then this is what my list would look like, something like this. For Judgment would be Mephisto, Supergiant. You could probably flip-flop those two. And then Wanda, Rogue, Torch, and then Apocalypse. Apocalypse is solely ABX. And then we have Forge Energy. I have Moonstone and Proxima at the top there, along with Call. And then we have Sharon Rogers, Cable, Null, and then Gambit at the bottom there. And then for Forged Regen, we got Sentry, Molecule Man. Those would be my top two picks for Forged Regen. And then Mephisto, like I explained. I would not use Mephisto for PvP. No way, no how. But if you love that PvP and you don't care about having an absolute PvE monster, then go ahead, give that guy a Forge Regen. And we got Silver Surfer, Jean, and then Thanos there. So that concludes my video here. I wonder how long this video is actually going to be. I try to zip through it, guys. You know me, man. I get into it and I start talking. I go into great detail. Not today. I went into some detail. I went into some, but not crazy amount. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with my list or you just you sincerely disagree. And keep in mind, it's just my opinion. This is my opinion. And then I gather some information from some other players that have more experience with like the authorities and destructions, mainly AC stuff, right? Because that's what it is, along with the egg. But let me know what you think, guys. I'm gonna end it there. I got more stuff though. I'm gearing up for that VIP bonus video there. Hit me up with your suggestions. I'm still taking them. I got a lot of good stuff, guys. A lot of good stuff that a lot of great changes that could be made to the VIP bonus that would benefit all players. Going from VIP bonus, 1 all the way to 20 and and beyond, because I think it needs to be increased past 20. I know that's for the Omega Whales, whatever, but you know, we got to include everybody, and I got a lot of great ones. So hopefully the idea is making this video, and then hopefully, you know, the devs see it and they see the reaction from the community, and it prompts them to actually start making some changes here. Because it's so long overdue. It is way overdue. Like, a lot of this stuff doesn't even apply anymore, and there's so many new things in the game that they could interact with and put into the VIP bonus there. So hit me up on that. So guys, you better stay tuned. You stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there now. Peace.